And we are back. Oh, man,
Yeah.
I didn't have my
Did you forget
sign,
your
though.
sign? Ah, come on, man. You forgot the sign. Well, he's supposed to have a sign that says Dinking Around, and I've got the sign that says with Eddie and Webby. I mean, man, we spent so much money on this titling budget, and you just totally blew it.
I blew it.
Totally blew it.
I blew it. I blew it. Jeez.
We're doing it live, and you blew it. Haven't
Oh,
said that in a
man.
while.
Well, here we are, Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. Part 3. This is raw, uncensored. You never know what's going to happen. We might say words like bullsh crap, right?
Or shooty poops.
That's right, yeah. Shooty poops. What was the other one that Barrett talked about? Tittle sticks or something like that, or
Tittle? Did you just say tittle? I don't think he said tittle.
no, I don't know. Anyway, if you guys know what we're talking about, don't worry about it. It's not important.
Yeah.
Man, that was a fun podcast. Now we're
Yeah, it
dinking
was.
around, just you and
We are
me.
dinking around. We're just dinking around like crazy.
Today at lunch, I drove to a local market to get some Oberon, which I actually found one can of, by the way, and that's it. But I do have. So I'm not kidding you. This is a bottle that has been in my fridge since the 6-pack I bought for episode 1. So this is over a year old,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
about to pop.
Interested to hear how it has aged.
Yes, but that's not
I
why I
don't
was
think
telling
Oberon
this
is.
story. Yep. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I don't think Oberon is really known for one that you want to age, is it?
Well, no, because it's supposed to be a little bit cloudy, and I don't know. This we'll see what happens. But anyway, the reason I'm telling that story is because when I was driving, I was listening to music, and I came across that karaoke album that we recorded in my parents' basement 20 years ago or whatever. Do you remember that?
Oh, no way. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God, I
listened to
forgot
it a
about
little
that.
bit. Oh, dude, look at what's in the bottom of my glass. Can you see all that sediment?
Oh wow,
Ugh.
that's a lot of sediment. That's kind of gross. Mine's pretty clear.
It all went to the bottom, and so I don't know. I'm gonna drink this, but this might not be good for me. I might switch it up halfway through. I might have to leave.
Man, I had
Mm.
a horrible pour. I've got a lot more foam than I normally do, so
Oh, it
I'm gonna
doesn't
pour
taste
this.
that bad. It's
Oh,
got
that's
it's a
good to hear.
little oxidated, which gives it some sherry notes to it. It's kind of nice.
Oh, Shelly. Nice.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about today, man?
Man, we've actually got quite a bit to talk about in regards to stuff regarding us and the world of pickleball.
Mhm.
Things such as the Eddie versus Webby 3 match.
Ooh, that's a
We
good
can
one.
break that down. There was a tournament that I recently did where I ended up coming home with this bad boy. I can maybe talk about
Yeah.
that a little bit if anybody is interested.
Okay.
What else? Some stuff from social media. There's some
Mhm.
things that jumped out to me this past week. Actually, I feel like there is one segment. I know this is pretty much like an unscripted, unplanned thing, but I think like the way things have been going lately, I do kind of want to do the pickleball forum topic of the week. I think is something I'd like to do on this Dinking Around show, if you don't mind.
I honestly, I think that would be cool because there's always going to be something because the people on the pickleball forum are batshit crazy. Like they're just nuts,
Yeah.
man. Some of the stuff I see on there, I'm like, what in the world are you talking
Yeah.
about?
And it doesn't matter what you post. It could be the most generous, the most heartfelt post, and somebody's gonna twist it and
Yep.
make it into something inappropriate
Yep.
or just something totally off the wall. And it's one of the things I love about the forum. It's part of the charm. Like you just never know. You never know what's gonna happen on the pickleball forum.
Just like dinking around with Eddie and Webby.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if anybody out there wants to come on the show and you have either a smartphone or laptop and a headset, very important that you have a headset with a microphone, reach out to us. We might be able to do our magic behind the scenes and bring you on in. So, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What should we talk about Eddie versus Webby 3 first? I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a great thing to discuss. That was awesome. It was the first time we've ever done a singles match. Believe it or not, we have never done a singles match against each other. And
Yeah.
for anybody that listens to Dinking Around episode 2, there was a bit of controversy. We kind of got into a little argument over the method that we were going to play, as far as whether it even exists or if I made it up or not. Remember that?
I do remember that, but I will have to tell you that although I had never heard of it before and I thought it was crazy, I love that style of play, and I've actually played it once since Eddie versus Webby 3.0, and I now prefer that over straight up across singles or cross court singles. I prefer the method that we played against each other.
Yeah, what we played, which I don't even know if I've always called it full court skinny singles. Maybe I'm calling it the wrong thing. But there's because there's the cross court where you're going diagonally, half court across. So I thought I heard before that full court is like where we do what we did, where we shift back and forth. But yeah, it's a super fun way to play. It's tough though, because it's tougher than people think to like have to focus on one half of the court.
Yep.
And I do feel like us doing the switching back and forth kind of makes it even a little more confusing. But after doing a few rounds back and forth, it's pretty easy to keep track of it. But super fun. I loved that method, and I thought it was a great time.
Yeah, I had a blast. It's definitely a challenge, and it took me like at least 8 points before I really started to kind of figure out the strategy and you know, to me when I'm playing doubles, I rarely go for the lines, right? I'm usually, most of my shots, it's like, let's put it in the middle, especially when I'm doing ground strokes. Because all you're trying to do is you're trying to get your opponents to communicate and fight over the ball, right? So I'm typically playing all my returns down in the middle. And so when now it's like, well, you can't play that shot because you don't want to risk going over, it kind of changed my whole strategy with how I was returning. And so I thought that was a little weird. The second thing I thought was weird was serving across from you, right? I mean, you always serve diagonal, and so now you're serving across, and that
Right.
tightens your space a little bit. It felt a little different.
Yes, I agree. I agree very much so. And if I seem like I'm distracted right now, it's because I am distracted because I think we have somebody that's going to be joining us soon.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm not going to. I am serious. I'm not going to spoil anything about who it's going to be. They are getting their equipment ready as we speak. So hopefully it works out. We never know what's going to happen on the show. Last week, somebody wanted to be on the show, but they were having technical issues and couldn't get connected. So we ended up not having anybody on the show. Our first episode of Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby, we were very lucky to have Gizmo Hall on. That was awesome and unexpected.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if this works out, our special guest for today's episode is going to be pretty awesome.
Nice. Well, what else happened at Eddie versus Webby 3?
Oh man, so we started the match off, and it was going back and forth for a bit, and then I actually took a pretty commanding lead, and I think at one point I was winning 10-8, and I lost the serve, so you were serving, and we had a nice rally going back and forth, and then you hit a shot that was clearly going out of bounds. I knew it was going out of bounds. Yeah, clear as day, out of bounds, but it was like a pop-up. So I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not just going to let this ball fly by me. I am going to smash the hell out of this ball. Hopefully I hit him in the face or something to get the ball back real dramatically. So I go for the beautiful smash shot. And what do? I hit the damn ball way out of bounds. And I basically give Eddie a point. So then the score is now 9-10, his serve. He goes on to score the next 2 points and wins the game. That one play has haunted me every day since then.
Well, I mean, there's lessons in everything, right? And we've all been there. We've all had that shot that it's like, I don't know, it's like the ball is just kind of floating up there and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, right? And then you go and you hit it. You completely douche it off to 10 feet outside the court. It happens to everybody. It's happened to me. I'm sure it happens to the best players out there. So, Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot believe I did that. Like I had that game. I had such a good momentum going, and yeah, that happened, and just totally wrecked my flow. Game two happened, and I started off strong. I took, I think, a two, maybe even a 3 point lead. That's when I kept lobbing, and you thought for sure the ball was going out of bounds. And then yeah, go ahead and describe what happened there.
So this is crazy to me. I'm sure if you guys follow the show, I rarely play indoors, and when I do, I'm always playing on tennis court surface, right? So this would have been the third time ever that I've ever played on gym floor surface with an indoor ball. And so one of the things that I've been working on in my game over the last few months is letting out balls go out. It's something I've been focusing on. I've been doing drills on it. It's been something I've been improving on. I've really been focusing on it. So I'm not kidding you. When I played indoors, I probably let a dozen balls land a foot inbounds behind me that an outdoor play would have been clear as day out. And it was driving me freaking nuts, man. I was getting so mad that I kept letting these balls bounce. But seriously, they were clear as day out if we were playing outdoors.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that too, because we had recently, just a couple weeks before our Eddie versus Webby 3 match, we had played together at the Indoor Winter Classic in Grand Rapids, and we were using the Franklin ball there, right?
Yeah, we were using an
This is
outdoor ball.
yeah, yeah, outdoor ball because we were playing on a tennis surface, and then um, so like we were used to that ball, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Like by getting used to that ball and then coming back playing indoors with the Onyx ball, totally different way of playing.
Yep.
And luckily, I'm a bit used to the Onyx ball, and I play at hype quite a bit, so I feel like I had an advantage. And to be honest, I was starting to feel bad. I was like, ah, man, I gotta stop doing this because this is kind of I feel like this is a cheap way to win.
This is
So
Eddie versus Webby. You don't back down on that. If you find a
I
shot
know.
that works, man.
Yeah.
You stay with it.
So that's another thing that haunts me. I was like, why was I playing with my heart and not my brain? Because I was like, I'm gonna stop doing this lobbing stuff because I don't want to win this way. And then you pretty much just took off after that and destroyed me the second game. I'm just gonna cut to the chase.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Well, it was fun though. So the other thing too is I really like that side of the court that we were playing on in game two. I feel like when I'm on the side of the court that I was playing on game one, it's very distracting. I feel like my ADD kicked into full effect because there's kids playing basketball back there. There's more things moving around constantly. I find it harder to watch, to see the ball. So game two, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, this is the side of the court that I personally prefer. There's not a lot of things moving behind you. It's more of like a plain color wall behind it. So I enjoy playing on that side better.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so check your message app. I just sent you a message. I need a little something from you to try and
Okay.
get this guest connected.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and keep talking then while I get that over to you?
But yeah, so like I said, man, it haunts me. I really should have won Eddie versus Webby 3. It's disgusting to me the fact that I didn't win. And yeah, I can't believe it. But I mean, I'm not gonna take away the fact that you did defeat me. You made excellent adjustments because first off, you were in my home court, so I had an advantage there. Both games, I took a lead. Things were not looking good for you at one point in both games, but in both games, you made the necessary adjustments. You did what you had to do, and you did it. You beat me.
And I brought home that bad boy right there in the shelf. It fits perfectly on that shelf. I plan
Made
on
it.
leaving it on that shelf for as long as possible. And anytime I take it with me, I plan on bringing it back home to go on its rightful place right here on that shelf.
Yep.
Looks good there.
Nope. That's not true. It does not look good there. In fact, it looks really bad there. It should be right here behind me. And yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, but I don't know. It's gonna be a little while before the next Eddie versus Webby match. I know we had a few or a couple back-to-back Eddie versus Webby 2.5 and then Eddie versus Webby 3.0 happened very quickly. But we're gonna take a little break Gonna let the dust clear a little bit, if you will.
I mean, we might
And
have some other competitive matches too coming up in the near future. So you never
yeah,
know.
we have so many great things in the works. Like I am super excited.
Yeah.
We unfortunately we can't tell you about them because they are not solidified quite yet. But I just man, if the stuff happens that we have in the works, it's like going to be like a dream come true.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it.
Good stuff. So we've already talked about Eddie versus Webby 3. We've already talked about how I won it and I brought the belt home, right? Is that so we can put that one to bed?
Yeah,
Is
that's enough of that. We can just
Yeah.
stop talking. I mean, we talked about that enough.
What-
I mean, everybody probably stopped watching by now.
Why don't so but you had a pretty major accomplishment recently. Do you want to talk about that?
I did. I actually played in a tournament a few weeks ago, and it was at a YMCA in Oregon, Ohio, and it was a 3.0 men's doubles tournament. And I got to tell you, like there was a lot of there was 7 teams, and it was a round robin tournament, and like they were good teams. Like there was no joke. I've played some tournaments where it was 3.0, but you could tell a lot of the people were beginners. But these were all very solid 3.0 players, and the team was Eddie and Webby, but it was not
Nope.
that Eddie. It was a different Eddie, and we actually did quite well. In fact, we did not lose one game. We won every single game that we played, and came home with this bad boy. This is what you call a first place gold medal.
Nice. And Eddie is the brother of Anthony, who I played with back in December at the South Florida Slam over in Plantation, Florida, where him and I took silver in a men's 3.0. So pretty cool that you guys are able to pull home the gold, man. I was really excited to hear about that.
Yeah, and I do believe we might have a special guest joining us.
What?
Does that seem like an accurate statement? I thought I heard something.
I
Oh,
hear
wait a second.
something. I hear something, but I don't see anything.
That's a very familiar sounding voice. Maybe we should
Yeah.
play like see if you can guess who the guest voice is.
Oh man, it definitely sounded familiar. I heard a "What's up, guys?" there. Oh, I don't know though. Is that is that the,
Hey,
is that the Golden
Can
Boy?
you guys hear me?
It is. What's up, dude?
What's up? Can you guys see me right now?
We can't see you, but we can hear you, man.
Huh. Okay. Let me see if I can get the. It did prompt me this time to allow the camera. I don't know why it's not.
Huh?
You want me to? Let me go off and try again. Maybe the second time it'll work.
All right, let's try again, and if not, we can just do audio too, man. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, that's totally fine as well.
Okay, I'll try one more. Okay, perfect. I figured out what it was. I had to go. We got the audio working. I think the video will work here shortly, but I just had to use a different. I couldn't use Google. I had to use the other one.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what it was. But anyway, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, go for it.
Nice, man. You got the Golden Boy to come
Oh
on.
yeah,
Nice
the Golden
work.
Boy.
Yeah. Always love hanging out with Scott Golden. That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that tournament was very fun. The women's division was awesome too. I was able to watch the gold medal match and part of the bronze medal match. And I got to tell you, the women were some great players. Those were very fun matches to watch. And that was a super fun tournament. My friend Stephanie, she is also a USAPA ambassador. She had posted in the Southeast Michigan Pickleball Facebook group about the tournament. And it was on a weekend that I was available. So I was like, hey, why not? So I signed up. Luckily, Eddie saw that I signed up and saw that I needed a partner. So we joined forces. And yeah, we did pretty darn good. I'd say going undefeated is not too bad.
No, that's pretty solid, man. That was cool to see. You know, it was also cool. I got to watch some of the live stream too, which you gotta love. Anytime you see live stream pickleball, I don't care what rating it is, it's always fun to watch, for sure.
Yeah, and that was actually my first time ever getting live streamed for a significant amount of matches like that. Eddie live streamed all of them. He had a little bit of technical difficulties for the first few matches. His phone was not. It kept shooting in portrait mode rather than landscape mode. So if you watch like the first 3 or 4 matches, you had to do a little bit of this action to see it. If you know what I'm saying.
I do know, because it was in portrait mode. I wish there was actually a way where you could make it to where you could never record video in portrait mode. Like, I wish recording video in portrait mode didn't exist.
Yeah. There's never a purpose for it. Like it never. I mean, unless you only ever watch video on your phone in this way, but like if you ever want to put it online, if you ever want to put it on a way where you can watch it on TV, like just think about it. Is your TV like this?
Right? Could you imagine? No, but seriously though, like, but even if you do watch it from your phone, watching it like this, like that's your eyes see wide. They don't see tall. They see wider than they see tall. And so I just think that, you know, it's, I don't know. I wish we could shut it off completely. So,
I agree.
Hey, Webby, guess what?
What?
He's here. The Golden Boy joined us.
There he is.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Man,
thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, guys. This is quite the experience here. I didn't expect to be on the live show tonight.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
well,
this
here
is
you
awesome.
are.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Gizmo, aka Jay Hall, joining us on our very first ever Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby, and now we've got the Golden Boy on episode 3. This is pretty awesome. We're off to a great start with our new series.
I love it. Yeah, I've been wanting to get back on here with you guys, so it's pretty cool. Tonight was the night.
Yeah, man. Where are you at right now?
So I am in Louisville, Kentucky for the first time ever, playing pickleball.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Nice, man. You got a tournament there, or you just playing with people?
So it's kind of a crazy story. My car actually, my car engine blew up about 3 weeks ago. So
oh man,
yeah, it's all good. But so I've been without a car, but luckily I've been flying to the places that I've needed to play tournaments over the last 3 weeks. Well, anyway, I had a tournament in Nashville at the Logan Stanley Memorial Classic tournament this past weekend. And while I was there, so I got a ride up there, and then I wasn't really sure how I was going to get back to Birmingham, where I live. And so I was telling some friends about it, and they said, well, they thought about it, talked about it, and then they said, well, you are welcome to come back and stay with us for the week in Louisville, Kentucky. And then we're all going to be playing at the Owensboro, Kentucky tournament, the Kentuckiana, this weekend coming up. So I've been here with them all week, crashing their party, and it's been fun, man, playing pickleball every day.
Nice, man. That's pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild.
So you just been without a car, and you just kind of living the Roman lifestyle right now, huh?
Yeah, it's been weird. I mean, I've had a vehicle, but it's not one that I bought. It's just one I've been borrowing for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna get me a car when I get back. But I've just been on the road so much, flying different places the last few weeks, because all these tournaments are already booked out. You know, they're already scheduled.
Right. That's nice, man.
Yeah.
So Scott, earlier I was talking about there's a segment I want to add to this Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby show, the Pickleball Forum topic of the week. And I feel like every week there's a new topic that gets just beaten into the ground, and the topic for this past week would be the whole Dinkers versus Bangers topic. And our buddy Daniel J. Howard, he did a post talking about how we need to stop banger shaming or something like that, or stop shaming bangers because so many people talk about how they hate bangers. And it just like it spread like wildfire. It seemed like every other post was a new post about dinkers versus bangers and stuff like that. So why not join in that discussion and beat the dead horse even more and talk about it now?
Yeah, I mean, why not, guys? Why not? I was kind of blindsided with that whole Dinkers versus Bangers thing that came out of nowhere. It seemed like I did not get involved in it for whatever reason. I did not join in. I usually do, but I've been so busy. There's been a lot of things I've been doing on behind the scenes coming up to the U.S. Open. But let's get into that topic. I think you guys, if you've ever watched me play, you probably can understand which side that I like and prefer. I'm pretty aggressive. My style is pretty aggressive, and I like to hit the ball hard and put pressure on people. So I clearly side with the bangers. But I will say that over the last 2 years since I've been playing the sport, I've learned to enjoy dinking more and look at it kind of as a challenge, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah.
I've had to improve that side of my game. And so when you start drilling and working on those things and kind of making some conscious effort to get better at the soft game, it becomes more fun. All of a sudden it becomes a challenge to not get abused in that side of the game. So yeah, I mean, I've gotten my game to the point where it's not a negative anymore. It's not a weakness. Do I still struggle with it some? Yeah, but people can't pick on me anymore. Also, the Waters mom and daughter duo really opened my eyes to. They really opened my eyes to the fact that like you don't have to be a certain way that people tell you have to be successful in this sport. Like this is the one sport that you can be different and still have success.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And to me, I think it all comes down to strategy. Are you playing hard because it's a strategy or because it's the only damn move that you have in that you can do? And are you dinking because you think that's all you should be doing, or are you intentionally trying to give your opponent an unattackable shot? I don't think that if you're somebody who maybe plays a little bit of a softer game because that's your strategy, or because you play a little bit of a harder game, that means you're a dinker or you're a banger. I think it's all about your strategy. And if you're able to implement both and find the one that works for you, then there's really is no one way versus the other. It's all just strategy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. You got to have a mix. Like I don't like doing 100% dinking or 100% banging. You gotta be able to do both. Because I personally prefer the slow game. I definitely like dinking a lot more than banging. But I mean, there are times where doing a third shot drive is the way to go. Like even if it's just every once in a while, just mix it up. Because if you stick with one thing, I feel like it becomes too predictable on either side. If you're a constant banger, then there's things that people can set you up to make sure like they'll be able to predict how you're going to hit it and set you up to hit it out of bounds almost every time, or do the shot that might make you hit it into the net a lot and stuff like that. But then at the same time, if you just dink all the time, that can become predictable. And you got to mix it up. Definitely mix it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think strategy plays a huge part in this game, and it's like a chess match. I will do something until somebody figures it out, and then the minute that they figure it out, the first time they adjust and figure it out, then I move to a different move, or I go to a different move. So I constantly change and adapt, and I think that's one of the most underrated parts of this game is not just the physical skills that you have to have and possess to move up in this sport, but also the mental game. You got to be able to adapt during the what I call the firefight. The game is constantly evolving, And so you have to be able to adjust. I will say that personalities, I think you guys would probably agree with this. Personalities come out in pickleball as well as life is what I mean. So like when you have somebody that's more laid back, easygoing, they're not real controversial. They're gonna be the one that gets that ball up above the net, and they're gonna dink it back probably, or they're gonna be a little hesitant to pull the trigger and pop the ball fast, at somebody. Where somebody like me, I throw caution to the wind a lot of times.
Yeah.
As soon as I get that ball up, I'm ripping it, and I take my chances. So it's just personality differences, I think.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it too. It all depends on I think how you are in life definitely comes out in the pickleball court. I will tell you though that personally for me, I get a little frustrated when I'm hanging out with people and they're getting upset about playing against bangers. Because for me, I love it. If I have somebody that's going to stand at the back of the court and smash the ball at me over and over and over again, I think it's fun as hell because I'm going to put two back at his feet and then drop the next one in the net over and over and over again. And I'm going to keep beating them until the point that they realize that they need to get their ass up to the net and play some pickleball with me. And so I think that's a huge opportunity to be able to, first of all, win matches if that's what you're going for, and two, add a challenge to your game to force them to come to the net.
Yes, certainly. I mean, the people that you hear complaining are the ones typically that don't have either soft hands enough to drop the ball and reset it, or somebody who just doesn't handle pace very well. And they haven't worked on it. I'll be completely honest. My hands have gotten faster and better, and the game has slowed down for me some over the last 6 to 8 months because I've subjected myself to that type of punishment. When
Right.
you go up against people who can absolutely rip the ball, it becomes a little easier over time to reset and drop that ball in. I'll give you guys an example though. Last night of something, strategy wise, I was playing a game, with some people up here in Louisville for the first time, and two different partners I had kept returning the ball short to the middle about waist high. And this one guy named Jeff can absolutely rip a pickleball. He can just rope it straight line right over the net with a lot of speed and a lot of movement on it. And guess what? They were ripping it at me is what they were doing. He was ripping it at me every time. So after the game, I was a little frustrated with it, but what I was trying to explain is, if you want to avoid somebody who can absolutely wear you out with the forehand drive, you don't give them what they want.
Yeah.
Don't give them what they want. You got to get your game to a level where you feel comfortable hitting returns down the line to that guy's backhand or cross court from left side to the right side, all the way back to his back foot. Keep him as deep as possible. Put as much pace on the ball when you return it comfortably to keep it in, or just go away from that person. You have to be able to control the ball in pickleball. You got to be able to tell it what to do and not let the ball dictate what you do. So, if you don't like somebody doing something to you, don't give it to them. Don't give them what they want,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We've actually got a few comments on social media going on here. Kenny Chow, who was actually just on podcast 37 earlier, says it's no fun when Maggie blasts the Dura and beats up on your defenselessness.
Yeah.
I've seen her do that personally. She can wear a pickleball out, son.
Yeah, she can.
Nice.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be able to play on her team during the Dink for Pink event, and yeah, she's awesome. She is a great player, that's for sure. We've got a comment here from Rob Noonan. He says, Scott going to the dark side, LOL. I think that's in reference to you talking about how you're kind of slowing your game down a little bit.
Yeah, and if you watch my matches now, I mean, I still look for every opportunity to speed it up, but I'm not intimidated by dinking anymore like I used to be. It was going back to what you guys said earlier. When you don't have anything else and your game is one dimensional, then you're just going to go back to what you are comfortable with no matter what the situation is. But when you've developed all aspects of your game and you become comfortable in every aspect, then the game actually becomes more fun at that point, because you can get into firefight battles with somebody straight across the net, or you can drop the ball in and reset, or you can dink cross court, you can dink straight across, you can hit Ernie's and around the post and lob, and you got to be able to do all those things like you guys were talking about. And I just think it's funny when people get so upset about somebody who hits the ball hard. It's almost comical.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like Eddie. Like I'm to the point where I love playing against bangers now, because I love being able to try to manipulate how they react to the ball when I slow it down.
Yeah. Also, one thing that people listening, if you're at a level where you're frustrated a little bit and you're struggling with those people who hit hard, the quote unquote bangers, the best way to frustrate them and to get them out of their game and to really beat them, quite honestly, is get out of the way of the ball, because they're going to hit 90% of them out if you'll just let them go.
Yeah.
People don't believe that, but
no, that's totally true. And that's one of the big reasons why we won this gold medal. My partner, he's a big advocate for making sure you let out balls go out. So like we talked ahead of time, we worked out a strategy, and we were just like, hey, I mean, some of them might land in, but chances are a majority of them are going out. And I'm telling you, so many that I got out of the way of went out of bounds, and that's how we got so many of our points. It was crazy.
yeah, it's true. And also that Jeff guy that was ripping those thirds at us. What I ended up adjusting was I either dropped him in to force him up to the kitchen, or I would put him really hard back at his feet so that he would become the defensive person instead of the offensive person. And over a couple games, I recognized all of a sudden he was no longer hitting third shots that were drives. All of a sudden he could drop the ball, and he had to change his strategy. So a lot of times the people that hit hard, they can do the other, but if they know they can beat you with driving, they're going to overpower you if they can. But if they can't,
definitely,
they're going to have to use something different. So,
well, we've been talking a little bit about beating bangers, but another thing that I've been working on, as I'm developing my skill set, is also knowing when to force and speed up the game during a dink rally, right? And I know there's a lot of people that just say, be patient, stay in those dink rallies as long as possible. And I think that's great advice, right? But I also think that if you have somebody that all they ever want to do is dink, they never want to speed up the game, they just want to keep going cross court to cross court, eventually you're going to have that ball that's a couple inches over the net right in your sweet spot. And you got to be able to know when to rip that down the center, a little, low to high action, and make it unattackable as well. And so I think that that's another way to be able to beat those dinkers. If you enjoy speeding up the game, speed it up. Do a low to high shot. Try and, once it's in the right spot, be a little patient, but don't be afraid to speed it up either.
absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times dinks will bounce and come up above the net or just right below the net. And if you've worked on your game and you feel confident and comfortable doing it, you can do a lot of stuff off those shots. You can rip them into their body. You can rip it into the seam. You can also lob off a dink. I don't know if you guys try that, but what I'm referring to is when you're leaned into the kitchen, all four people are up there, and all four people are into that intense dink rally. Okay, nobody's really speeding it up. You can take one that's not attackable necessarily, but you can grab it out of the air and you just look like you're going to dink it back, and all of a sudden you just use a little more effort and follow through a little bit more, and you can roll it up over the opponent's left shoulder, and you can catch them off guard like that.
Yeah, I know Kyle did that. He did that during nationals to Matt Wright, wasn't it? Where they were in that, and I know he actually put it right over Matt Wright's forehand, which was which was a scary move, but he was able to pull that off pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. He took that one off the bounce, but still very effective. He looked like he was going to go around the post at first, and then all of a sudden he just flipped it over Matt. And the reason he was able to get Matt is because that's the last thing that Matt Wright was expecting Kyle to do there. And honestly, talking with Kyle about it, Kyle didn't even think about doing it until it kind of unfolded right in front of him. But he did tell me in that interview with him that the reason he felt comfortable doing that is because all summer leading up to nationals, he had been working on lobs, lob, just for that particular situation when it comes up. So, again, that goes back to being confident in your game and knowing when to pull the trigger. It was crucial that he won that point. That gave them a lot of momentum.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've actually got a lot of comments coming through on social media, so I think this should be the Q&A segment now. What do you think of that, Eddie?
Let's do it.
So we've got another comment here from Rob Noonan. He says, "Scott, where'd your nickname come from?"
Oh, that's a great question, man. That's a great question. Well, I will say I've had nicknames in every sport that I've played as an adult. In flag football, they nicknamed me the Tasmanian Devil. So that was my nickname in flag football. The reason is because I was a rusher. I would rush the quarterbacks, and I was relentless. I was a relentless rusher. They never got rid of me. I was always in their face. So Tasmanian Devil was for flag football. And then the Golden Boy nickname, I did not come up with myself. We actually have some controversy with it. I have two people who claim rights to nicknaming me this. I have always said that in Hiawassee, Georgia, at the tournament in Hiawassee, Georgia, my first year, I was playing singles against Steve Kennedy's friend, who I didn't know at the time, who I do know now. His name's Tony Roig. But I beat Tony in singles in that tournament, and as soon as I won, Steve Kennedy was watching behind the fence, and he yelled out, "The Golden Boy," or something like that. It was something like he yelled "Golden Boy." And at the time, I honestly didn't think much of it. But I got home later, and I thought, that could be a good marketing piece. Like that, the Golden Boy just has a good ring to it, And I'm kind of a goofy guy. I've got a goofy personality. And so the Golden Boy is it fits, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a serious, stuffy type of guy, and I'm always goofing off and laughing and cutting up. So, people have nicknamed me other nicknames off of that. Like Glenn Lucy calls me the Tin Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, clearly he loves doing that, which I'm okay with all that. I love that kind of stuff. It's fun banter back and forth. And also, anytime the Golden Boy gets brought up on social media or gets tagged, obviously that's fun for me. I love those interactions. So it's never a bad thing that I get, called Tin Boy or whatever. But also, I went on a little streak recently where I was winning bronze medals at every tournament. So a lot of people were calling me the Bronze Boy for a little while.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, that's a much better streak than what I was on. 4 tournaments in a row, I got 4th place. So I guess my nickname was 4th place boy.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a name for 4th place. Do you guys know what the name is?
What's that?
No.
It's the Golden Turd Award.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, luckily I finally broke that streak and I came home with gold on the last tournament I did.
The Golden
That's
Turd.
awesome, man. Yeah, the Golden Turd Award. Congrats on that gold medal, by the way. And
thank you.
I've been kind of following y'all's career, and you guys are getting better each time I see you play, both of you guys. So.
Well, thank you. I'm doing a 3.5 tournament this Sunday, and normally I do 3.0 because that's still my level, but my partner is 3.5, so I'll be doing 3.5, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, guys. I had this conversation with somebody the other night. Actually, the host family that I'm staying with in Louisville, they're playing 3-5, have been for a little while. They've won gold medals the last couple of times, so they're going to be playing 4.0 this weekend in Owensboro, Kentucky. And I was just telling them, when you play against better players, your level goes up. Your level of play rises because you're no longer able to just get away with the things that you could at 3-0 or 3-5. And honestly, the rhythm's a little better at 4-0, right? Or 3-5. If you're playing 3-0, you go to 3-5, it's a little better. And then you go from 3-5 to 4-0. It progressively gets more rhythmic, and the points become a little smoother, and there's not quite as much banging. There's more dropping and resetting, and it helps your game. You
Oh,
don't
for sure.
everybody. Yeah, I mean, everybody gets consumed with winning medals, and I get it. I love the thrill of sweating, blood, sweat, and tears, grinding out a tournament all day long, and then the satisfaction of getting on the first, second, or third place podium. Like, there's a lot of satisfaction in that. But let's not fool ourselves. This journey that we're all on is not about winning medals. It's about the progression of your game and proving to yourself that you deserve to be playing at 4-0 or 3-5 or 5-0. I mean, for me, my journey was to get to 5-0, as quickly as I could. And that's the journey is the cool part. Not the winning and the medals are just a byproduct of the hard work that people put in, you know?
Yeah, I'm totally with you, man. I would much rather show up to a tournament of people that are better than me and play some amazing games and have, hold my own, have great competition, have fun, and I don't care about a medal. I really could care less about that. I would much rather do that than show up at a 3-0 tournament and dominate and then get gold. Like, to me, the medal is just a reflection of maybe how you were at that time, but it's definitely not a reflection of the whole entire experience.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to that to an extent. I do like winning medals though, but the fact that I got fourth place 4 times in a row, so that was super frustrating to me. I know Eddie, he really wants to move up to a 3.5, even 4.0 level, and for me, I was like, man, we haven't even won a medal at 3.0, like not even a bronze medal at 3.0 yet together. But like this medal right here, this was a very hard fought. And like I feel really good about this medal. My first gold medal that I earned, I felt really good about it. But half the teams, they were obviously beginners, and I felt like, man, I almost feel like a sandbagger in this tournament because like they're like I'm playing with people that I think are like just getting started in the game. But like the tournament where I won this medal, like they were all very solid 3.0 players, and I feel very good about it. And finally breaking my streak of getting fourth place, like that puts me in the point where now I'm ready to move up to try doing 3.5 type tournaments, because I got a hard fought, well earned 3.0 medal. That was my mission. Now I'm ready to start moving up.
Let's do it.
That's awesome, guys. I love it. And everybody's got their own journey and their own progression. So there is no time limit on this, right? So whenever somebody feels comfortable, that's when you need to move up. People ask a lot about when should I move up to the next level, and the truth is, there's no exact science. It's just when you feel in your heart that you're ready, and that you're kind of sandbagging if you are winning gold after gold after gold, and when your games at tournaments start to become 11-2, 11-3, 11-1, 11-0, those type of games over and over, that's when like, okay, it's time to get moving up.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And last night, we had open rec play at Hype Rec Center in Wayne, Michigan, and there's a tournament coming up this Sunday in Saline, Michigan, and a bunch of people that are doing that tournament came to Hype to get some playtime in last night, and my partner and we played against a couple 4.0 teams. And we definitely held our own. We lost most of the matches, but they were very close matches. And we did actually win a couple of them against 4.0 teams. And exactly like you said, like when you play people at a higher level, it's more consistent. Yep. And you definitely play better. That's absolutely true what you said.
yeah, and I find that true for myself as well. When I got on the court with Dave Weinbach and Zane Navratil and Johnson Cola and a couple other guys when I was up in Madison, Wisconsin recently, that was my first experience playing with really high level players, and it was amazing because my game upped, or my level upped. If you know what I'm saying, like I was able to step up and rise to the occasion, and it was weird because I was a little nervous at first, but you get in that mode, and it's just really fun. When you play people who are better than you. So to me, that's always been the goal.
Absolutely. Definitely. Going back to social media, Maggie Raminzi, who was also on the podcast earlier on episode 37, she says, Scott, when are you coming to visit me in Buffalo?
Mm.
Oh man, what I could do is when I come up for Pickle Fest 10 this year, I can maybe come a few days early and fly into Buffalo, and then I can ride over to Pickle Fest 10 with maybe Maggie and Kenny. How does that sound, Maggie?
There you go, Maggie. Sounds like a good opportunity there. John Davidson, he had a few comments here. One of them was, "I just dink it at Scotty G." I think that was earlier when we were talking about the banging and dinking stuff. He says he just dinks it at you.
ask John Davidson how many times he's beat me in the tournaments that I've played against him.
Oh, snap.
Mm, I'm gonna go with the big goose egg over here.
Oh man.
He's tried several times with no success in tournaments. However, I will give him credit. In Griffin, Georgia, in a pickup game, him and his buddy Troy Kilner came up to me and they said, "We want to challenge you, and you pick somebody. We want to challenge you to a game, a best of 3 series, and we want you to live stream it." And I did live stream it, and to my surprise, they did beat us in 3 games, and it was a very, very intense battle.
All right. Nice.
John
But it was
also
just
went
a
on to
pickup game.
say,
Yeah,
John
just-
also went on to say he just lets Scott's ball go out.
I also want to go on record for saying that John is one of the funniest guys in pickleball. He is an absolute blast. The dude is so fun. He makes pickleball a lot of fun. So
Nice.
Nice. He also went on to say, "Is the Golden X a bangers only paddle?"
well, I mean, to be honest with you, it does work a lot better when you hit a nasty overhead past somebody and you can yell hashtag chop chop.
Nice. I like it.
Got some nice comments here from Joe Valenti. He says, "Love the show, guys. Thank you very much for that." And he also says, "I am wondering how pickleball has changed Scott Golden's life." That's a great
Yeah.
question.
Oh man, yeah, Joe. That's man, what an awesome question. Um, I'm still watching how it's changing my life. Every day, it seems like something cool and amazing is unfolding. But yeah, it's been a game changer for me, guys. 2 years ago, when I went through that divorce, I honestly thought my life was gonna suck, you know. So things have changed around quite a bit for me, and I've just been putting my head down and grinding and like every day just trying to become just better, you know what I mean? Like, not just in life, but like I'm specifically within pickleball, like trying to better myself and better my future. And I don't know about you guys, but this sport is rapidly changing for the better, I believe. Like the sport is becoming a legitimate like force to be reckoned with across
for
the
sure.
world. Yeah. So I'm just happy to be a part of it. I've got my new paddle coming out, like you guys, John brought up. The Golden Axe will be released right around the U.S. Open online at dicksportinggoods.com, and then a couple months after that, it'll start hitting the stores on the storefront shelves. And I mean, I was just up in Pittsburgh doing a photo shoot. Like, I mean, really? Like, how cool is that?
That's badass, man. So how, like, talk about that experience, because that must have been kind of wild for you, right?
Oh yeah, dude, Eddie, it was insane. I mean, I've never been treated like that before. They treat you like a king. You come in, you got to get makeup put on. You have a lady putting makeup on you, and it's really it's hard to put into words, but such a cool experience. It was an all day thing, and we did all kinds of cool stuff. I'm gonna be putting out a video soon of like the behind the scenes. I've been really busy doing some other stuff, preparing for the pickleball global challenge cup that's coming up. I did some some hype videos, I should say, for them. So that's taking up a lot of my time. But I will be putting out that video from the behind the scenes of the photo shoot soon.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, man. So who else was part of that whole photo shoot?
Yes, so there's only 2 sponsored players right now with Monarch. It's myself and then Eden Lika, which anybody that doesn't know about Eden yet, you will know about him after the U.S. Open if you haven't heard of him already. He's going to be making big waves, especially in the Open Pro singles. The guy is an absolute monster. He was a professional tennis player back in the day. And so me and him were both flown up there to Pittsburgh about 2 weekends ago. It was, well, 2 weeks ago. It would have been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we were able to go up there and spend the day doing the photo shoot. We had a professional photographer. It was at a big studio that's close to the Dick's Sporting Goods headquarters, and man, it was so cool. I mean, we literally got to just hang out all day with the people there, and then the next day, so Wednesday night we flew up there. Thursday was the photo shoot, and then Friday we got to go to the Dick's Sporting Goods headquarters, me and Eden, and they just showed us around the headquarters, and we got to meet like a lot of the executives and the people that work there at the specifically the Monarch company that's within Dick's Sporting Goods. So it was really a neat experience.
That's cool. Yeah, I actually saw it. I think it was you that posted one of the pictures on there. Is he really that big of a dude in real life?
He is. Yeah, he is, man. I've never been out in public with somebody where everybody just kind of stops and stares, not in a bad way, but he just draws attention. I have a funny story. There's a girl, we were in Buffalo Wild Wings, me and Eden. We went out to dinner one night after the photo shoot, and we're just hanging out, and he and I were walking to the booth to go sit down. And I kid you not, this woman thought he was very attractive, apparently. She stopped in front of him, and she looked up at him, and she said, "You're hot."
Just like that, huh?
Just like that. And
That's
I thought,
awesome.
I mean, he probably gets that stuff a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
he's used to being somebody that people look at and kind of, in awe of, because he's like he's 6'6" or 6'5", like 240 pounds. I mean, the dude's an absolute monster in a good way. I mean, he commands the room, and man, but he's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy.
Did I see that he's going to be playing in the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup the week leading up to U.S. Open?
Yes, he is. And funny enough, I was contracted to do the co-commentary for that event, so I'll be down there as well.
Oh, nice,
And
man.
yeah. So me and Eden, we talk, but we don't keep up with each other's day-to-day stuff.
Sure.
But he and I were in the car in Pittsburgh with Riley Burgess, and we start talking about that, and then he realized, oh, you're gonna be there. He and I didn't even realize that. Well, I knew he was gonna be there, but he didn't realize that I was gonna be down there doing the commentary for that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was just there yesterday with Pete. I filmed a little video that I played earlier in the podcast, kind of promoting that event. So when I saw the list, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But I didn't know you were doing commentary, man. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So just so y'all know my schedule, I'm gonna be flying from Louisville Monday down to Naples early. I'll be there from the 15th of April all the way to May 5th. So I'm gonna be down in Florida for quite a bit.
Nice, man. Well, if you ever want to play down a little bit, let me know, man, because I'd love to meet up with you.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do
Okay.
it, man. I will absolutely love to team up with you, and let's
Okay.
get some games in. We'll live stream it for everybody too, so they can watch us playing.
Yeah, let's do it, man. That'd be fun.
That'd be
I love
awesome.
Absolutely.
So Gib Reffett, he wants to know, is the Golden Boy coming to the Beer City Open?
Yes. Yeah, I will be at Beer City this year.
Very nice. Eddie and myself will also be there, and I feel like a majority of all the top pros in the world are going to be there. So if anybody is thinking about coming, that it would be a great event to go to. I think pretty sure they got filled up almost instantly. Like I know they once they opened up registration, I feel like by the next day, like almost everything was full. It's such a popular one. It's a great tournament. It's the very first tournament that Eddie and myself ever did together, and I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, so I remember seeing the live streams on the Facebook pickleball forum, and I remember being very jealous that I wasn't there. I mean, it was like am I wrong? It was like 600 people were registered last year.
I'm not really sure. To be honest, last year Eddie and I had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. I just saw that there was going to be a tournament in Grand Rapids, and I knew that Grand Rapids was known as Beer City. So I was like, hey, we can go to a bunch of breweries, play this little pickleball tournament. It should be a fun weekend. And then we get there, and it's this massive tournament. And we later found out after we were there that like every well-known pro in the game were there. Kyle Yates was there, Ben Johns, Aspen Kern, pretty much anybody you can think of, Simone, everybody that you could think of was there. And at the time, we were so new to pickleball, we didn't even know who Kyle Yates was. So like none of those names meant anything to us. And now we're like kicking ourselves. We were like, we had access to like the best players in the world, and we didn't even realize it.
Didn't even know it. Yeah, that's how cool that pickleball is, because you guys just wanted to go play in a small tournament, not knowing it was one of the world's best tournaments that they put on. And honestly, I heard 600 people. So if that's true, then they're probably going to have as much or more people this year, I would imagine. So.
Oh yeah, I definitely do not doubt it. And another thing, this year, it's like a contention for nationals. I'm wording it wrong. Whatever the wording is, like it's what's the word? It's a
they're a sanctioned tournament now,
Yeah.
so you'll qualify for nationals.
Yeah, qualifier. A qualifier. That's the word I was trying to think of. I could not think of it at the time, but yes, it's a qualifier for nationals this year.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to talk about that just for a second, if it's okay, because a lot of people are confused on that. And just to try to clear up a little confusion, if you play in a USAPA sanctioned regional tournament anywhere in the US, you automatically qualify to register for USAPA Nationals in November in Indian Wells, California. Okay. So when you play in that, you don't have to win a medal or anything like that to be able to qualify to play at Nationals. The absolute bottom line with that is you get into Nationals, or the opportunity to play at Nationals, by playing in a regional. But the difference between qualifying and then getting pre-registered is you have to win a gold medal at a regional in your division to get pre-registered for that event for Nationals. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yep, definitely. Yeah, that's good. Very good information to know. Thanks for talking about that. Actually, I see our buddy Barrett Kinchelo. He was on our previous podcast. He said he's wondering what the release date is for the Golden X. That's a great question that I would love to know as well. Do you have a date available?
Well, I've been told that it will release online on Dick's Sporting Goods website around the U.S. Open, so end of April. And then of course, we just did the photo shoot, so they're putting all that marketing stuff together. I'm going to be on the front. It sounds weird even saying it, but I'm going to be on the front cover of the packaging. So when it's hanging in the stores, you'll be able to see me on there, which is weird to me, but it's also super cool. Such a dream come true to have that opportunity, and it's just such a surreal thing for me to even be talking about that. But the actual paddle selling on the shelves should be sometime during the late 2019, probably fall of 2019. So
I think I have a good Eddie Webby competition for a shirt. Webby, do you want me to run with it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Once Scott Golden's face is in Dick's Sporting Goods right there, somebody's got to take a funny picture with it and send it, and make sure that it can be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. They have to make sure that they tag both Scott and Eddie and Webby, and after a couple weeks or so, we'll put the best pictures together of all of those, and the best one will win something fun, Eddie and Webby related.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Let's do it.
That'd be great.
Don't think I'm not going to be going into Dick's Sporting Goods and taking a funny picture.
Oh yeah, for
Nice.
sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You know
Hell
what's
yeah.
funny, guys? I've been in the Dick's Sporting Goods stores with some friends over the last few months, and the funniest thing is they want me to go in there and either get them discounts or they want me to go up and tell them that I'm the golden boy, and they are supposed to. These people are supposed to know who I am, apparently.
That's cool though, right? I mean,
Right?
Yeah,
it's like, hook me up,
no,
man.
it's cool.
Yeah.
But it cracks me up because we're like in the retail store and the paddle's not even released yet on the store shelves, and they're like, go tell those people over there that work here that you're the golden boy and you're in the store. And I'm like, if I go up and tell them I'm the golden boy in the store, they're gonna go, you're who? With what? what's pickleball?
Right.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Scott,
yeah,
I don't
too
know
funny.
if you already have arrangements for a place to stay when you're at the Beer City Open, but Kevin Pryor Jr. says you can crash at his pad.
Oh, you tell Kevin to put that in the bank, son. I will be at Kevin's house for the Beer City Open.
There you
I
go,
know
Kevin.
Kevin very well.
Put it in the bank. Put it in the bank, Kevin.
I love it.
What else is going on with me? Anything else new?
Man, just living life, guys. Living life. I enjoying the ride, man. I'm playing a tournament almost every weekend, and just love meeting so many new people across the country. And um, I'm doing clinics and lessons everywhere I go right now, and really trying to just grow the sport. And one of the cool things that I love to do when I go places now is just interact with the local people where I go. Like, just go out into the rec places that play pickleball locally, and just spend time with them. I mean, literally, just spend time playing with them and having a great time. And that's really what I love. That's what I'm about, man. I love that aspect of our game. You know.
Yeah. That's cool, man. It definitely seems like, you have a passion for it and you love this sport, and I think it shows. It's genuine too. It doesn't seem like it's fake. It just, you love it. It's your life, man.
Yeah, I can't help but enjoy it and love it and be genuine because it's what I want to do for the rest of my life until I can't stand up and hold a paddle anymore. So,
Right.
but
Absolutely.
one of my goals long term is to eventually transition into like a pickleball analyst and commentary side of things when the sport gets big enough that it's on Fox Sports or ESPN or whatever news sports newscast station picks it up. I believe it's going to happen. I really do.
Yeah, that
that'd
would be
cool.
awesome, and I feel like you would be great at it because I got to tell you, when you do live feeds and when you do commentary during, I got to tell you, like your commentary is some of my favorite of anybody that does the live streams of the pickleball games. I feel like you have a great balance of kind of giving a background of who's playing, and then but like keeping it short and sweet and just kind of like saying what the score is at the right time. So I definitely think you've got it down pretty great as far as when it comes to commentary. And I know that's not an easy thing to do proper commentary.
Nope.
Yeah, commentary it is kind of difficult to do. I will say it comes a little natural to me. I just started doing it at one point. I don't remember exactly when I started doing it at pickleball tournaments, but I just enjoyed it. And to watch the progression of the sport growing, and then me being out there, in the pickleball world and just being a lot of different places. I get accused of being everywhere at once, which is funny because I do have a twin, so it's possible that my twin's out there as well.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm able to be so many places. But we'll neither confirm nor deny that accusation there. But no, I mean, I think the other day when I was at a tournament, it was in Springfield, Missouri. I started doing the gold medal match for the mixed doubles 5.0, And as I started, I was by myself, and I had everything set up, had my earphones in, started doing the commentary, and I'm so dialed in and so focused when I'm doing that commentary that I don't even realize what's going on around me typically until somebody calls a timeout, and then I have a chance to kind of look around. And I looked around, and there was a huge semicircle around me of people that were watching the match, but they migrated over to where I was because they wanted to hear the commentary that I was talking about. And it was very humbling, but it was also very cool just to know that people like want to actually listen to what I'm saying, because I try to be informative, I try to be fun, I try to be knowledgeable, and then I try to also, let the game flow and like try to explain some of the strategies and things that are going on that are actually on the court, as well as giving the score, updates and stuff like that. So, and pretty neat to see that, man, and how it's been something that I've always been passionate about, but people are really starting to I think catch on that commentary is an important aspect of our game.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Barrett Kinchlow had a couple more great comments. He said, pickleball is deeper than just a game or a sport. It's contagious. There's something about the exercise and the community feel that makes it incredible. It's got that barbecue, backyard, family, friends feel to it. I could not agree more. That's a great way to describe it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, Scott, this has been awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. One thing I wanted to bring up, though, there's another podcast that's actually, I think it's going on right now.
Yeah.
Steve Parento, if I'm not mistaken, if I read it correctly, he's having like the leader of a nudist colony on his show tonight to talk about nude pickleball. Did anybody else see that?
Yeah, I got a call from Steve Ferranto this week, actually, and was able to talk to him about what they were going to be doing this Thursday. I forgot that it was tonight.
Yeah, I think that's going on right now. I'm curious to see what's to see what that's all about. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that podcast out. Fun fact: 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, but the last time we did a dinking around with Eddie and Webby, Steve had Simone on his show, so we made sure to kind of try to end our show right before his was on because we wanted to tune into his show.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up calling, and I was on the show. So if you listen to the show that Steve had with Simone, at one point you will hear yours truly calling and asking a question on the air live.
Yes.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, and actually, Steve's going to be talking with me and interviewing me. I think in a couple weeks, I get the honor and privilege of talking on his show with him during the U.S. Open. He kind of wants me to be like in giving updates and stuff. I think is what he was kind of explaining. But about that Cypress Cove nudist resort that's down in Florida, I have a funny story that ties into you guys bringing that up. Actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear it. I'm waiting for it. Let's hear it.
Okay. Awesome. So when I first got started playing pickleball, I actually had a girlfriend at the time, and I went down to a flag football tournament in January of 2017. So I just started playing pickleball for just a couple months, and I was obsessed with it. And even though I was down there for flag football, I was looking every opportunity. I wasn't playing flag football. I was looking for chances to go play pickleball. Of course, I brought my stuff with me and everything. So I find a place I wanted to go play Saturday morning, and the only place I could find open that Saturday where I was the Cypress Cove Nudist Resort in that area. I think it's near Orlando, close to Orlando maybe, or somewhere in that area. And so I called my girlfriend and I asked her, did she think it was okay if I went to that to play pickleball? And she wasn't a huge fan of it. She was kind of like, I think that's kind of weird. I don't think you should go. But I didn't end up going. I actually ended up finding another place that was open. But had no other places been open, I might have ended up at the resort.
Oh, that's great. Take it off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, might as well, you know?
Yeah,
Well,
and
Stephanie just left a comment.
Go ahead.
Stephanie is watching. She left a comment. She said, "You need nude people on your show. Take it off." I mean,
I love it.
this is Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. Here we go.
All right, let's. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but actually on their website, so I did some research after I discovered that because it's on the USAPA Places to Play website. And after I discovered it, I went on there and looked, and it actually says that if you go play pickleball there or just go to that resort, it said 15 minutes to an hour is the time frame that people usually forget that they have their clothes off, that they don't have clothes on. And I was thinking, it might take me a little longer to forget that I've got my clothes off there. So,
yeah, I think that would be a little bit of an adjustment, but hey, right? To each his own.
hey, to each his own.
Yep, for sure. Gib Refit says, "I think there is a nude pickleball resort just south of Nashville." Interesting.
Oh wow. I'm not sure how he knew that.
yeah. How'd you know that, Gib? Have you partaken?
That's too funny.
Love it.
But when I first saw the post from Steve on the pickleball forum, or maybe it was just his personal Facebook, but when I saw the post about having the nudists on, I had to check and see if that post was done on April 1st, because at first I thought it was an April Fool's Day joke, but it was not April 1st when he did it, so I think it's legit.
Yeah, he wanted to have them on, and I think that's kind of cool. I actually think that it's cool that he's bringing them on to talk about that, because even though that's kind of taboo in our society, I guess, I have a lot of respect for people who are that comfortable in their own body and aren't afraid
for
to
sure.
play pickleball like that. And I don't know, man, but I just feel like you should have some rules set in place to where you don't smash the ball 110% when you're playing pickleball at the Cypress Cove Nudist Colony.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, don't y'all agree? As you know, it could get a little dicey there.
Oh yeah, I could absolutely see the whole dynamics and fundamentals of it. I think it would just totally change for me. But I guess when it comes to playing nude pickleball, you definitely got to be careful when it comes to smashing the balls. Yes,
got to be very careful.
I'm gonna call in when we get off this.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it did.
That's funny. Oh man,
you guys are great.
This was awesome, man. Thank you very much, Scott, for joining us. I know this was unscripted, unplanned. We literally I think we were like 5 or 10 minutes into the show, and then Scott and I started messaging back and forth, and I was just like, "Hey, you wanna hop onto the show with us that we're doing live right now as we speak?" And he was like, "Sure, why not?" I love it.
Yeah, it's just how I roll, guys. That's how I live life, and I appreciate you guys bringing me back on, man. It's always fun to meet up with you guys, and I guess I'll get to see you, Eddie, in just a few days, actually, probably within a week or so.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for the U.S. Open. It's gonna be awesome. Like every day I get closer, I get a little bit more excited. It's gonna be pretty sweet to have that tournament at Pickleball Global the week before too. It's like just when I thought I couldn't get enough pickleball at the U.S. Open, boom, there we go, another tournament right before it, and air conditioning. You can't beat it.
Yeah, you really can't.
So cool.
And I think that's going to be an electric setup, because it's so intimate. You've been there, obviously. You did the interview there. I mean, tell people that haven't been there, that are watching the show right now, like what that feels like. It's such an intimate setting. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you walk in and it looks like a very nicely presented tennis, sporting goods type of store, but then you look over to the right and you have this like beautiful, flawless pickleball court with a row of bleachers right there. And when I say that if you're watching the game, you're going to be the sweat from the players is going to be dropping at your feet. Like, you are intimately going to be part of that game right in front of them. I'm excited. Like, I just can't wait to see what that whole feel is like during those games.
Yeah, it's going to be intense, guys. It's going to be intense. I mean, you're bringing in some of the top players in the world. I think out of the men's top 12 or 14 or something, there's only like a couple, like one or two that aren't going to be able to make it, and it was for varying reasons. Ben Johns, for example, couldn't make it because of his college finals. He could not get it moved. So
Yeah.
otherwise, everybody's going to be there. And as far as the women, man, there's some fierce women coming, and it's going to be some absolute battles on the court. So I'm super excited about doing the commentary for this one. And I think anybody that can't make it live, the second best thing to be in there live is to watch the live streams and just get a feel for the intensity through the live streams. And hopefully we can do the game's justice with the commentary. But man, it's going to be a really fun event.
Oh, for sure. And I've never been there in person, but I subscribe to them on YouTube and follow them on Facebook, and I get alerted anytime they do a live stream, and like it looks awesome, just like Eddie was describing. I love how you got the perfect view of this really nice pickleball court. You got the bleachers there, but then you can see in the background that there's this really nice store and people shopping behind them. So it's it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool dynamic for sure. And he has done a great job of combining retail with competitive pickleball, and I think that's super cool. The only thing I feel like he's missing is like a restaurant or bar or something.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping when I went to, because it's kind of in like a little bit of a strip mall, and I'm like, oh, where's the sports bar right next to it, or like a restaurant that everybody could go to and hang out at, and I couldn't find anything right there. But I think, that's right. That's the only thing it's missing.
Yeah, and also along those lines, I've got some big news. I can't talk about it much right now, but there is a possibility I may be moving down to the Naples, Florida area in the future. I can't give a lot of details right now, but there's some stuff in the works that's pretty cool. So you may be seeing a lot more of me down there, Eddie.
I love it, man. Let's hang out. Let's do it.
That's awesome. But to be honest, Scott, I mean,
cool.
nobody's watching the show. It's just the three of us talking here. You can just tell us everything. Tell us all the details, please.
Yeah, there's nobody on. Don't worry.
Nobody's watching. Nobody's gonna watch this later. Yeah, I will. You'll know when the time comes when I give the info out. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Nice. Cool.
Very cool.
Oh man, well, thanks again, Scott, for coming on, dude. This was awesome. I'm glad we could make it work. Look forward to seeing you here in the next couple weeks.
Absolutely, fellas. I appreciate y'all bringing me on.
Of course, man. Anything else before we let Scott go here, Webby?
No, I just definitely thank you very much. This was a very, very unexpected, very awesome to have you on. And this was another super fun episode of Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. Episode 3.
All right. See you, fellas.
Thanks, Scott. We'll see you, man.
All right, see you.
Wow. Another awesome guest. I can't believe it. That was great.
Yeah, how cool was that?
Yeah. He's always so good. Like, I just love his passion for the sport. I love his enthusiasm. He has such a cool energy to him when it comes to, being on and talking pickleball. And it's very encouraging, very motivating. Just, it's always fun to hang out with him.
Yeah, man, definitely. Just a great guy overall, and just a great ambassador for the sport.
Yes. Well, we had a whole bunch of stuff to talk about tonight on the show. It was all lined up, but that's okay. More content for next time.
Exactly.
I can't go to specifics right now about what the next podcast is going to be, but what I can tell you is you're definitely going to want to tune in. So look for us to publish the next date and time, because you're going to want to be a part of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, I mean, we've had so many amazing episodes, but I would be willing to bet that this could be our biggest episode yet. And you'll see why I'm saying that very soon.
Do you know what's funny, Webby? Is that I hate when podcasts do that to people. And now
The worst. It is the absolute worst. The worst thing anybody could ever do is do a teaser like that and like build something up and give no information whatsoever. It is the worst thing people can do.
And I feel like we've done that. Scott's done that. Like this episode has just been a bunch of build-ups. That's all it's been.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We've got so much great news. We can't tell you anything about it, but it's epic and amazing.
Yeah, it's so awesome. We can't tell you shit, but it's gonna be great. So, that's cool. Man, what another? I don't even know what to say right now, except for I love it. I love this format. I love dinking around. I like that we can hang out, bring some cool guests on. But I love that it's just last minute and thrown together, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, yeah. Like just we have like a couple bullet points of things that we might talk about. We didn't even get to half of those because of having Scott on unexpectedly. But that's the whole purpose of this show. It's raw. It's unscripted. You don't know what's going to happen. We might swear from time to time. Mm-hmm. We might say bullshoot, things like that, and fart face. You just never know. You never know.
Yep. Anything else, Webby?
Nah, I think that's it for tonight. Super fun night. Thank you to everybody watching. There's actually more people watching than I thought there would be at this point in the evening. We went way longer than I expected to, but super fun night. Well worth the time spent. I think it was well worth your money to tune in.
I totally agree, but everybody should stop what you're doing now, sign off, go check out Steve Parento's show. They're talking nudist pickleball, and I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, there's going to be naked people everywhere in the studio on the Steve Parento show.
Yeah, you are going to hear so many naked people on that show.
Yep, you're gonna hear so much nudity. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh man. Well, on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.